We always had the rule of just write anything and we'll see what happens. No idea is stupid. Just write it, and if it doesn't work, we don't use it. But this time it was a little bit even more emphasized. And I think this record kind of achieved that. If you heard it, I don't know, if you heard it, it's very different. Sure. But you can tell that it's Five Finger Death Punch. And then as the title and Afterlife and what that means, it has several meanings. Lyrically, I think lyrics are good when you have several meanings, and this title, we were kind of proud of it in a way that, okay, this means a lot of different things for us. Afterlife, one of them personal. This is the afterlife. This is a new lineup, a new band, a new time. It's this afterlife of that. That's probably the first base layer. Then beyond that, there's a spiritual layer to it. If you think about this concept, afterlife, everybody alive on this planet has an idea what that is. And that idea solely depends on your surrounding, your education, right? Everything that impacted you, right? Your culture, right? And if I want to break this down, it's like, okay, take a Buddhist, anybody from Far East, right? Generally, the idea is that they believe in reincarnation. And their idea is that you have to become enlightened in this life to ascend to a different level. They call it the samsara, the plane of sorrow, the plane of suffering. That's what planet Earth is. And if you can part the veils of Maya, right, the illusion, and you become enlightened and understand what the world is, really what the world is, then you don't have to come back to this life. You don't have to repeat it. And you can escape this circle of reincarnation. That's what they believe. So what they're going to do in their lives, they're going to spend their life to try to become spiritual and to be enlightened. So they are spiritual. They are trying to become enlightened. So their idea of afterlife affecting them that way. Take the Vikings. A Viking is going to go, oh, I have to die in battle. I have to go to Valhalla. Right. So I have to have an honorable death on a battlefield. Now, obviously, today it changed, but that was their belief, right? Really difficult to beat a Viking who wants to die in battle. It's even if you killed him, he won. You know what I mean? So it's like, holy cow, So that was, but look, everything that they did, that idea of their afterlife affected that. And then you take this Judeo-Christian sort of ideas. There is heaven and hell. There is this reward and punishment. So even if you're not religious, but it's embedded in your culture, it's going to kind of dictate that you're going to feel like, oh, I shouldn't be doing that because it's bad and I'm going to be punished, or bad karma, or bad this, bad that, and I get rewarded for this. So these commandments and this idea of what is good, what is evil, what is, there is a devil and God, and out of a sudden this whole, situation creates a tension and you go through life living your life by those beliefs. And then you can go to South America, the Mesoamericans, everybody has their beliefs of afterlife. And that, if you really think about it, that concept is one of the biggest drivers of your life. Everything you do depends on how you look at that. If you're an atheist, then you're going to be like, let's just party, because they have one shot at this, and let's just get stupid, and let's just do everything. So even then, they will be affected by that. So that's kind of the spiritual meaning of afterlife. And then the third may be the fact that this what happened to the world right now is 2 years. This is the first global event in our recorded history. World War II wasn't global. Sure. Right? Even if we call it World War, some territories, it was territorial, right? Some territories, it was some territories escaped that, right? So it wasn't really World War, right? This pandemic was. This was global. It affected the entire planet in the same time. So this had an impact, and so there's an afterlife after this. And I feel like it created some kind of a paradigm shift that we start to see the beginnings of. And I think it's gonna start tumbling down. The mountain is gonna get snowballed bigger and bigger and bigger. And what I'm talking about is that people start to, stay home and realize that, well, I'm not spending money on gas at least. And then you start to realize, well, and the car is sitting in a garage, I can't really go anywhere. And you start to think about, well, how I first can. So I go to work to make money, so I can fill up the gas tank, so I can go to work to make money, to fill up the gas tank. In a car that I bought, so I can go to work. And I'm working to pay off the car, that I bought so I can go to work. I'm not sure this works for me, you know? So people start to realize, I think, globally, that they were in a hamster wheel of some kind, you know, and they woke up to this. So I think there is a paradigm shift coming because people start to look at life like, what is happening? What's important really? And I think the emergence of cryptocurrencies and blockchain and there's a different kind of freedom people start looking for, you know, some sort of an independence. And do I really have to go to work or is there another way? So I think this is like the paradigm shift between the 50s and the 60s was massive. 1950s, right? Elvis Presley couldn't dance on television because they were like, "Ooh, that's," you know. And then comes the 60s, everybody throw their clothes off and, you know, let's do some mushrooms, LSD, DMT, whatever, and let's party and sexual revolution, and, you know, and it was a complete polar opposite. That was a massive paradigm shift, right, in culture. After that, there were a couple, but not that big. I think we are on the brink of one of those big ones that are coming. And so AfterLife also connects to that. There is some new things that are coming.